Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we will discuss the energy. Particularly, we will discuss the case of a kinetic energy. First of all, we will define energy. How can we define energy? Something which has a capacity. Something, something which is having capacity to do work. To do work is called energy. Is called energy. किसी भी चीज़ में अगर एक कैपेसिटी हो कि ताकि वो कोई काम कर सके उसको हम एनर्जी कहते हैं. सपोज इफ़ वी वांट टू रन ए कार, अगर हम कोई कार लेंगे, इफ़ वी वांट टू रन ए कार विदाउट पेट्रोल, कैन ए कार रन? आई थिंक योर आंसर विल बी नो. इफ़ वी fill the car with a petrol, if we fill the car with petrol, if we are able to run the car, can we able to run the car? Yes, car will run by filling the petrol. That means the petrol which is lying inside the car has a capacity to do work. That means petrol has, if we can say petrol has energy. That means energy it is having, that petrol is having energy. That means capacity of doing work. Capacity of doing work. We know that petrol is a hydrocarbon. If we fill a carbon with a car, the car does not run. If we fill hydrogen with a car, the car does not run. If we fill with the petrol is having a capacity, having energy. So when we filling the car with the petrol, it's having energy. That means petrol is having energy. That means capacity of doing work. This is called the capacity of doing work. Or we can say, we can put here a hand. And if suppose moving force, if force is, we apply force on a hand here, moving force. Somebody is moving body. You apply force on the hand will bend. That means moving body has a ability to displace my hand. That is, it is having a capacity to do work. Or if we here put anything, body at rest, it is not, suppose the body is at rest, it is not able to move my hand. That means it will not do any work. It has no capacity to do work. That means only moving hand and moving body is able to do work here. That means suppose if we can still, suppose this is again a table here. If we put a stone here on the table, yeah, if we put a turbine on the table, if we put stone on the turbine, the turbine will not move. But if I take the stone in the air, in the sky, if I left the stone, the moving stone has a capacity to rotate the turbine. That means this is having a capacity to do work. That this is the capacity of doing work. That means the capacity of doing work, any object which is having the capacity of doing work is called energy. That object is having a energy. That means similarly we will see when we look towards the plants also. Plants, you know that during night plants do not grow, but daytime when the sunlight falls on the plant, the photosynthesis takes place. That means photosynthesis takes place, plants manufacture their food. That means, this means sunlight is having an energy, because during night they do not grow, but during daytime the sun, with the help of sunlight, the chemical process is happening. That chemical process called sunlight. That means sunlight has energy to do work. That means sunlight is having an, we can say sunlight is having energy. Similarly we can say still air. If air is not moving, still air does not have energy, but the moving air energy has a capacity to do work. You know this. That means this moving energy has a capacity. But we have come here across different kinds of energy. Suppose car, here petrol car, when we fill a car with a petrol, it has a capacity to run our car. But here the petrol is not running, but it how it is able to run a car, because the chemical process is happening here. With the help of chemical process, it converts some amount of heat, some amount of energy which is lying in the petrol into the heat, and some is given to the vehicle as a kinetic energy. Here the plants are also using this energy. Plants with sunlight, with the help of sunlight, they are absorbing the sunlight and they are doing this photosynthesis. This is also another type of energy. And some we are when car is moving, yeah, when air is moving, it is having capacity to rotate anything or do anything or displace anything. That means moving air is having energy. That means energy, different types of things have capacity to do work. That means here the different things have capacity to do work. So, as you know already, in petrol we get energy where it when petrol is burned. Similarly, when coal is burned, we get energy. The moving there means here we have many forms of energy. We have seen many forms of energy. Some is called heat energy, some is called light energy, some is called chemical energy. But here today's topic is, we will not discuss all about these energies. We will discuss in later classes. Today's class is when we applying force, when we apply force on the body. So energy has many forms. When we apply force on the body, and the applying force displaces the body, applying force and doing the displacement. When we apply force and it is doing the displacement of a body, this type of energy is called mechanical energy. When we apply force on the body, when we apply force on the body, and this applying force is doing the displacement on the body. When we apply force and body moves through a certain distance, uh, moves along a display, it has a capacity to do work. We will discuss such type of energy. Such type of energy, when we apply force and doing the displacement, such type of force energy is called mechanical energy. That means we will discuss today's mechanical energy. That means when we applying force and doing applying force and doing the displacement. When we apply force and doing the displacement, when the applying force is moving a body and moving it, so that when we apply force, the body covers some distance along the covers some displacement. Such type of energy called mechanical energy. Mechanical energy. Mechanical energy. That means मैकेनिकल एनर्जी में ये होता है. दैट मीन्स वी विल डिस्कस टुडे मैकेनिकल एनर्जी. मैकेनिकल एनर्जी. Mechanical energy, there are different kinds of energies. One type of energy is when we apply force and body is doing some displacement. This type of energy is called mechanical energy. And mechanical energy is again of two types. Today we will discuss only one type, that's called kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. Number two, potential energy. Potential energy. Kinetic energy means it is the energy possessed by body due to its motion. Potential energy में क्या हो, change in position, change its position. When the body changes its position so that it comes in the motion, that's called potential energy. That is later on topic. Today's topic is kinetic energy. That means the kinetic in motion. That means any body in motion has a capacity to do work is called kinetic energy. That means any body any body in motion has a capacity to do work is called kinetic energy. That means the energy possessed by a body due to the state of motion or any body please remember, conservation of energy tells us no one can create or destroy energy. We can neither manufacture or create energy, nor energy. All is created. The energy which is the whichever the energy is, it is created by the nature. We cannot trans we can simply transfer the energy from one form to the another. It can be neither created by us nor destroyed. Suppose I can give an example. If I rub hands here, these are two hands, yeah, rubbing what does this produce? Is produce heat. That means the energy which are lying with my muscles transfer to hands. They transfer the heat to the, suppose, atmosphere. Suppose this I have 100 joules. My muscles have 100 joules of capacity, 100 joules of energy. When I rub the hands, suppose out of 120 joules are transferred to hands, but this heat is transferred to the air. Suppose in air there are 200 joules of energy. Now 20 joules are transferred, it becomes 220. Now here the energy remains, it was 100, but out of 100, 20 was transferred here, it becomes 80. That means this 20 has transferred this here. That means I can transfer the energy from one form to the another. I can neither create the energy nor destroy the energy. Okay, I hope you have got this. But today, here, please remember, work is this transfer of energy from one form to another. This is the work is done when energy is transferred, converted from one form to another. This is the capacity of doing work. That means 100 joules of energy was lying with my muscles. I am rubbing my hands. That means 20 joules 20 joules of heat is transferred to the atmosphere. This transfer of heat from one form to another, this is called actually work done. This is the capacity of doing. This is called the capacity of doing work. I hope you have. Suppose now I had to make the expression. We are discussing here the kinetic energy. Suppose body is having some mass and velocity v. Work done is transferred. The work done is transfer of energy, basically transfer energy. Suppose we take a body. Suppose it is having a mass m. It is having initial velocity. Suppose it is initial velocity is 0. When I give when I work how work is done when I apply a force. When I apply a force F here. Suppose apply force and body reaches here. Suppose its velocity becomes v. It is a final velocity. During from the velocity this to this, suppose it has covered a distance s from this. When I apply force F, okay, force F. That means when I apply force F on the body, which is initially at the rest, the body covers a distance s and its final velocity becomes v. Force किसके बराबर होता है? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. ma but work done कहाँ से? Work done is the capacity of doing work, capacity of how much energy I have spent on it. That means work done is that means when the energy is converted from one form to the another one, or capacity of doing work here, work done is equal to work done किसके बराबर है? Work done, if you remember, work done is equal to force into distance. W is equal to force into s. Actually f is cos theta hota hai because they are lying in the same direction. That means the angle between this distance and force is 0. That means cos 0 is equal to 1. Force mass into acceleration into distance. If you remember equation of motion, 2as is equal to v square minus u square. This is the equation of motion. We can from this we can get the value of acceleration. Acceleration is equal to v square minus u square divided by 2a. If I substitute the value of acceleration here m is equal to acceleration v square minus u square divided by 2s multiplied by s. Here 2as is equal to v square minus u square, a is equal to v square minus u square divided by 2 s and s will cancel. Now I can substitute here final velocity is equal to v, but the initial velocity is equal to 0. When I substitute this, I can get m v square minus 0 square divided by 2. Finally, I get work done is equal to work done is equal to 1/2 of mv square. But this work done I have calculated when the body is moving. When I applied a force, so that body has displaced some displacement along the direction and in the line of the force. That this work done is called the energy. That means we can say kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 of mv square. M is the mass, v is the velocity of the body. That means if somebody will ask it on What factors the kinetic energy depend? Kinetic energy depends two things. It depends upon the mass and the velocity of the body. I hope you have got it. Inshallah, we'll do in the next question. No, it is some part, another part that is potential energy. Before doing the potential energy, we will do it is remaining part that is work energy term. That is also sometimes asked in the exam. Thank you very much.